Okay, so the talk is caregivers, the fine art of pretending you've got this. I am by no means an expert at this. And we want this to be kind of an interactive talk, so feel free to throw out suggestions, ideas, thoughts, whenever you want. And we're just gonna hopefully have fun with this a little bit. So just as a disclaimer for the beginning, I know some people don't like the term special needs, and some people don't like other terms. For this, I actually prefer the term special needs for my kids, even though it's been a little bit weaponized recently. That's the term that I prefer, so I've used that somewhat in this. I know some other people prefer different terms. I personally don't like the term neurodivergent for my children. It just felt a little robotic to me, so this is just my preference. Oh, the
Transcription's not.
transcription's not working. All right, let's see if it's working now. All right, hang on. Let me just. Come fix it. I don't know how to fix it. I thought I had it. It was working a second ago.
You're pretending you got this.
Yeah, I'm pretending. I definitely do not have this.
Fake it till you make it.
That's my motto. Okay, turn on. It was working a second ago. I'm still not working. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going and hopefully maybe figure this out. All right, so just to make sure we all belong in here, this is where I use a special needs parent. So you might be a special needs parent if, now raise your hand if any of these apply to you. You can seamlessly translate a single syllable or an eyebrow raise. You might be a special needs parent if your calendar looks like an air traffic control schedule. You might be a special needs parent if the pharmacist doesn't have to ask your child's birth date when you pick up a prescription. This like actually happened to me just like a month ago. I walked in and I said I need to pick up a prescription for Zachary Carroll. He's like 9/17/01. I was like, what? So you might be a special needs parent if you know what IEP, OT, PT, ADA, and ACC stand for without having to think twice. You might be a special needs parent if you treat IEP meetings like high stakes corporate boardroom negotiations. You might be a special needs parent if you created a successful if you celebrated a successful blood draw like your team just won the Super Bowl. You might be a special needs parent if you know which hospital cafeteria has the best fries. It's the children's hospital, it's not the adult one. You might be a special needs parent if you've had a detailed conversation about bodily functions while eating dinner. You might be a special needs parent if you've learned that quiet is usually very suspicious. You might be a special needs parent if you've met some of the most incredible humans because of a chromosome. And you might be a special needs parent if your idea of me time is going to the grocery store alone. And that's where we're going to kind of head off on this little journey right here. All right, so we all know that caring for our child with special needs is one of the most meaningful things that we're ever gonna do, right? It's it feels like kind of our purpose, but it's also one of the hardest things we're ever gonna do. As parents and caregivers, we can become experts in appointments, therapies, medications, IEPs, insurance, advocating, teaching, comforting, and planning for the future. That's just a little list. And we spend so much time taking care of everyone else that we sometimes forget to take care of ourselves. So, many of us are usually competing in something that I like to call the Caregiver Olympics. Speed scheduling appointments, advanced paperwork completion, endurance advocacy, competitive multitasking, cheerleading, and the ever popular functioning on 4 hours of sleep. I do not function on 4 hours of sleep, just so you know. All right, so everyone's heard the adage before that you can't pour from an empty cup. I mean, I actually beg to differ sometimes with parents of individuals with disabilities, because our cups were probably empty like years ago, and we're just like sweating and bleeding into them, just blood, sweat, and tears into them, and that's what we're pouring from. That's usually what it is in our cases. But how do we keep our cup full when everyone's drinking from it? How do we keep our cup full when our cup may have cracks and holes in it itself? And what if your bank account mocks the idea of filling your cup? We've got to come up with some different plans, right? So probably before I had children, when I thought of self-care, I would think of maybe a day at the spa or a beach vacation, something beautiful and wonderful like that. And don't get me wrong, that is wonderful self-care if you can do it, but that's not reality. That's not reality for most of our lives. If we can do that every once in a while, that's great, but everyday reality, that's not going to be feasible. And so what self-care really is going to look like in our lives is getting more than 4 hours of sleep, taking some time for ourselves, maybe taking a walk, maybe writing, journaling, maybe drinking your coffee while it's hot. We just have to bring down our expectations and be more realistic about what self-care actually is. It doesn't have to be fancy. There's these misconceptions that self-care needs to be Instagram worthy, or something that you can post and that looks fantastic, but that's not what reality is. We all know that. That's not at all reality. So it might be sitting in your car for 5 minutes because no one's bugging you. I do this all the time. I pull into the garage and then I sit. Even when I don't have the kids with me. Like I'm like, I just drop them off at their day program or whatever, and I'm by myself. I'm like, sometimes I just need to decompress for 5 minutes, just sitting in the car before I get to the next thing. Going to Target and treating it like a vacation. Listening to a podcast while folding laundry. I do like to listen to my books and podcasts while I fold laundry. Eating a snack all by yourself, not having to share it. Taking a shower uninterrupted. Listening to your favorite music. We listen to a lot of Braden's favorite music at our house, but take some time to listen to your favorite music. I always say, everyone asks me what I want. I'm like, I want to sleep until I wake up. And everyone's like, well, that's what you always do. I'm like, I want to sleep until I naturally wake up. Not until, that never happens. Sleeping until I naturally wake up. Never. So that's something I want to do. I enjoy taking walks or going on hikes, and taking time to meditate and taking up a hobby. I think I mentioned it before, but after Zachary was born, he was like a year old, and I had two, and I was constantly in therapies and doctor's appointments. It was like almost every single day that we had appointments at doctors or therapy, and I usually had 2 at each time. And I told my husband, I either need a hobby or a therapist, like one or the other. And so that's when I put this picture here because that's when I took up pottery, was when Zachary was about a year old. Now I haven't been able to consistently do it all the time because sometimes we have little seasons of our lives when it's just too busy or too crazy and I'm not able to continue going to classes, but it's something that I really enjoy and it's something that is for me. It's not related to being a parent of a child with a disability. It's not related to that. It's related to what I want to do. So think about hospital. And then we need to watch for warning signs about getting burnt out. We all know that our cars give us warning signs, right? When they need maintenance. And our bodies actually do too. We just ignore them a lot. You know, I was mentioning before that because I take my boys to so many doctor's appointments. For probably like 7 years, I did not visit one doctor for myself. And so, you know, that's probably a big warning sign if you haven't seen the doctor for yourself. But here's just a few warning signs that maybe you need to step back and take a little time for yourself. Everything starts to annoy you. You can't remember why you walked into a room. Now that also could be, for me, the perimenopause stuff, but you put your keys in the refrigerator, you're exhausted all the time, you're easily overwhelmed, you have a hard time feeling motivated, and you experience new or worsening health problems. So any of those things, and there's probably a ton more, but if any of those things are warning signs that you're seeing, that means that it's time for you to step back and think about some ways that you can take better care of yourself. Okay, so one tool is accepting help, and I am terrible at this, like terrible. I feel like as parents of children with disabilities, we have superpowers, and one of those superpowers is I can do everything on my own. I got this, right? But it is okay to step back and have people help you. I have not totally mastered this yet, although I'm working on it. But here are some things, and everyone has a piece of paper in front of them somewhere. Grab a pen and paper and think about one way that you would be actual real help for you. Would it be someone bringing you dinner? Would it be someone just sitting with your child for an hour? Would it be someone picking up milk for you at the store? Would it be someone just having an adult conversation with you? Would it be, this one's mine, helping me go to the doctor's appointment with my children? Can you help me at my child's doctor's appointment? Another one that I do is just keep inviting me. I know sometimes my children have high needs, and it means that I might get invited to things, but I might not be able to go. But every time I say no, I'm like, they're going to stop it. And so, you know, that can just be one thing that you can ask people is just keep inviting me. You know, if your child is having anxiety or self-worth issues or something like that, you can ask a friend, this is a really simple thing. Can you compliment my child when you see them? Give them a compliment. That's just a really easy thing that you can ask of someone that it's not going to take a lot from them. Or I would just love a hug. You know, sometimes we just need a hug. And so I want everyone to take those papers in front of you and write down one thing that would actually be helpful for you. So sometimes for me, bringing dinner isn't actually, I mean, sometimes it is helpful, but sometimes it's not actually helpful. You know, that there's things that people sometimes offer to do that I'm like, okay, that would be great, but it's not actually going to help me. And a lot of times people say, what can I do? And we say, oh no, we got this, or, oh, I'm fine, I don't need anything. But if we have something in our mind ahead of time, we can be prepared to give them something that they can do. And even if it's just something small, like, hey, let's have an adult conversation. You know, it's just something small, but it can be very helpful. So I'm gonna write down your thing. And if anyone else has any good ideas, share them, please. Go ahead.
Remotely. So I don't have family around, pretty isolated because of our school. I don't have family around, pretty isolated because of our situation going on. So everyone's everywhere across the country, yet nowhere near me. Yeah. So very grateful that all of them. So I'm wondering what of these, if you've ever heard of anything that can be remote that I could ask people, because it also obviously necessitates somebody saying, what can I do to help?
Yes.
Otherwise calling them being like, I don't know, pick up milk,
Yeah, well, you can't pick up milk, but someone can Uber Eats you dinner from another state.
Yeah.
You know, they can call and do something like that. They can have an adult conversation with you from another state, you know, that there's things that they can do. One of the things that, you know, I just thought of that because we had a friend who just had a major medical thing and, you know, it was a friend from another state who was like, put me on the list for dinner sign-up. I'm like, oh, you don't live here. And she was like, I can take care of that. She's like, you know, I can definitely Uber Eats a dinner or something like that. So there are ways that people can help from far away. They might not be able to come and sit with your child for an hour. But think of things on your list that people from far away could do.
No, they ask for is just for someone to talk to my child on the phone.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's like FaceTime or like an iPad, but like if they don't live near me, just having them talk to my child and engage with them so I can make dinner or do something else is helpful because they're not always the people to like Uber Eats something that's too complicated, but saying hi on the phone with a video
yeah.
helps.
Yeah, in fact, we have, you know, my daughter Megan's away at school and Zachary loves Megan, but when Zachary gets upset, he's like upset. But as soon as we pull Megan up on FaceTime, it fixes everything. Sometimes just briefly, but it does fix everything. Just for him to be able to see her on FaceTime. So, you know, something like that from far away is also. Any other ideas?
I put to help me watch her siblings, Shelby's siblings, when I take her to these appointments because it gets chaotic when I have 3 little kids
Oh, yeah,
trying to focus at a doctor appointment.
yeah. Any other ideas? Sometimes you gotta be creative, but if you have the list before you, like now, in your mind, when someone asks, you'll have an idea. Go ahead.
All right, it's just something back that, just calling like, well, my aunt, she's on the phone now, but she's the third part of our team. She lives in London.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, so every day with homework, she helps AJ with homework. While I get like, go to the next appointment, we'll even do homework with Auntie while we're waiting for the next appointment or waiting for a taxi or something, so.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Even if they can just help remotely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Any other comments?
Okay, as you know, we recently moved away from a huge support system, my parents and basically all of my friends. And my sister is here, but she's quite busy with her 3 kids and her job. And my mom will spend at least an hour on the phone with him, just letting him complain about his mother and, you know, whatever it is that he wants to talk about. And I think keeping him busy is such a weight off of me. And so I'd also like to publicly thank all the people here who have been helping keep my son busy while I'm a single mom in it today. So thank you.
All right, anyone else?
FaceTime your grandma, right?
Yes.
We FaceTime grandma and grandpa all the time. It does help. Might as well bring it up to the kids.
Okay, so take that piece of paper that you wrote those ideas on and stick it in your pocket, and then next time someone asks, what can I do to help? Instead of saying, I'm fine, say, well, could you? And do one of these things, ask for one of these things. So remember that you are a whole person. You are not just a caregiver. You are not just so-and-so's mom. You're not just so-and-so's dad. You are a whole person. Somewhere along the line, some of us lose ourselves to just being, I'm Braden's mom or Braden's dad or whatever. And we become managers of everyone else's lives. But remember when you had hobbies? Remember when maybe you loved reading, gardening, crafting, music, hiking, or baking? Think of all the hobbies that you've liked in the past that you may not have time for right now. Maybe you watched an entire movie once without having to pause it 17 times. The goal isn't necessarily to reclaim hours of free time. The goal is to remember that you are still a whole person. And your child is a part of you, but not the whole thing. And so you're not just a caregiver, you're so much more. And so to remember all those parts of yourself. So next challenge, think of one small thing that fills your cup. Is it getting more sleep? We're not talking big things that fill your cup. Because yeah, the spa day would be fantastic, to fill your cup, and the beach vacation, those things would be fantastic. We're talking little things right now that you could do on a daily basis. So think of one small thing that could fill your cup. Maybe it's going on a walk, maybe it's reading a good book, maybe it's coffee with friends. Maybe it's an afternoon nap, maybe it's a trip to Target or Home Depot. Maybe it's trying out a new hobby, or maybe it's bringing back an old hobby that you used to have. Then actually schedule it, like open up your phone right now. Think of something, open up your phone and put it on your schedule. Because if you don't put it on your schedule, what's gonna happen? Are you gonna do it? If you wanna have coffee with a friend, put it on your schedule. No, you don't have to know which friend yet, but put it on your schedule. You can take care of that like next week. After we're done here, you can take care of that later, but put it on your schedule now, or you're going to forget about it. Of course, it says, if we wait till we have time, we're not ever going to do that. We're not ever gonna do it. So we have to put it on our schedule now, put it on first, and then you can figure out the details, but make sure it's on your schedule. So, to every parent, grandparent, sibling, and caregiver, you are doing the hardest job there is. You are advocates, chauffeurs, therapists, cheerleaders, problem solvers, and experts in things you never expected to be experts in. Your child and grandchild or sibling or niece or nephew or friend is so lucky to have you. Don't forget that. They are so lucky to have you. Remember, you're not a machine. You're not an unlimited resource, and you are a whole person who deserves care too. So now we're gonna have the fun part. Abbie, so like 2 years ago for the conference, I mean, it had been longer before that I had been in a conference type thing where we did an actual guided meditation, and I loved it so much. And I'm like, so 2 years ago, I'm like, I want guided meditation. I want us to have something, we've just taken in all of this information from this conference. It's a little overwhelming. You have this to-do list that's a mile long, but we need to step back and be like, okay, it might be a mile long, but we don't have to accomplish this all next week. So let's just step back for a minute and let ourselves relax. Abbie's going to talk to us a little bit about it first, and then we actually get to do a guided meditation. All right, do you want this?
Well, Lindsay did an excellent job, like she always does, setting the stage and encouraging all of us. And when she asked on a planning call, I really want someone to do guided meditation. I'm trying to find someone in Indianapolis. I said, well, I taught yoga for 8 years. Steve and I met doing yoga. And I'm happy to offer a tiny bit of what I know and what I use. And what used to be a multi-hour a week practice and 40 minutes a day meditation prior to having any children has turned into micro moments and micro mindfulness. But those little pieces of connection and breath and movement are medicine, right? And movement is medicine in whatever form it takes for you and your body and your family. But so with that little bit of setup, what I'm gonna invite us to do, I'll kind of talk you through the whole arc of it, and then we'll do it together. But I'm gonna invite us to do a little bit of movement, whatever your body allows, and I'll talk you through that. We'll actually stand up here in a moment, and we'll do just kind of get into our body type of stuff. It's so telling that all of us know so much about PT and OT and, all of these therapies that our kids have taken part of, and mindfulness courses that a number of our kids have probably been exposed to through classes or schools, maybe if we're lucky enough. But us taking that moment and doing that for ourselves is not always easy. And the part of just taking the time, but also feeling guilty about it too, is something I struggle with. Or, oh, if I take this time, yes, it helps me feel better and be a better mom, but I'm asking Steve to step in, or I'm asking for someone else's help in order to do that. So again, the arc is we'll do a little bit of physical movement in our body, and of course, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. I'll offer some options. This is not roll out the yoga mat. We're not doing downward dog, but we'll just do a couple standing movements just to get in our body a little bit of breath work. And then I'll invite us to sit back down and lead you through a guided meditation. One focused on the breath is where we'll start. And then I'll do a visualization at the back half. And again, it's whatever you take from it and whatever is kind of the right pace for you. So that's the invitation. Curtis, can we do that light too?
Try.
You're trying, no worries. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So with that, if everybody who feels ready and wants to stand up and able and comfortable in your body. And really, I mean, we've been sitting a lot, so just give your hands and your feet a little shake. Just moving the energy a little bit. Shaking the sleepies off. Yeah, the automatic movement, a couple of you are already stretching up, so we're gonna stretch our arms straight up. Yeah, and then take your left wrist with your right hand and you're just leaning over. And you're really wanting to breathe as much as you can. Breathe into the side of your body. And the other side. Don't lean too far, we might get stuck. Other side. Big exhale. And then right back up to the sky. And then let the arms go. I'm going to do the next one very gently because of the microphone. But the movement is a very gentle twist. And then you take a soft fist. It's not a hard fist, but a very soft fist. And it's a gentle twist. And you're just giving your upper chest a light tap and your lower back a light tap as you twist. So this is a nice, I don't want to tap too hard here. This is a nice activation of the adrenal glands. A little bit of proprioceptive awareness of bringing you back into your own body, making some cross-body connections for your brain and your nervous system. And as you do this, you're breathing. We often, me included, forget to breathe. Good. And then come back to the middle. Now we're going to do, how are we doing so far? Right, good? Okay. Now we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to kind of do a marching movement. So you're just letting your feet fall where they may, and letting your kind of hips shake out, your ankles shake out. And part of all of these movements is they're super simple. You can do these anywhere and not be all that embarrassed about it. There's just ways to just find ourselves back in our body. So now after you march a little bit, let the natural fall of your feet, find your feet about hip distance apart. We're going to take a really big deep breath in. And when you breathe in, we're going to draw our shoulders up. We're going to draw our hands up. And we're actually going to do a big inhale, almost a gathering of all the energy, like you're taking your shoulders very high. And on the exhale, go, ah. Do that 3 more times. So inhale, you're gathering your muscles, your shoulders. The inhale you can feel. Oh, we know about tension. Now do we know to let it go? 2 more times. Inhale up. Big exhale. Ah. I'm actually going to invite us to do it 2 more times. And these 2 times on the exhale, if you're comfortable, see if you can verbalize ah. So that you're doing a big exhale and a verbalization of a release as well. Inhale and gather. Exhale. Ah. One more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Ah. And just take a moment even now and see, am I in just a micro different place than I was a couple minutes ago? Okay, a couple other tricks that Steve and I use a lot. One is the top of your thigh bones and the energy that comes from gripping and worrying and anxiety and sitting in doctor's meetings and driving and all the things, making appointments and working and all the things we do creates a lot of tension in the front of your body. So Also pretty simple version of grounding your thigh bones is you take your hands and palms to the top of your legs where your hips connect with your thighs. You're just gonna bend your knees if it's comfortable in your body, and you're just grounding down. You're putting whatever weight feels comfortable to you down into the top of your thigh bone. Breathe in. If it's too much, that's okay. Maybe we hit the funny bone. Inhale, stand up, reach up to the sky again. And then one more time, we're just finding a little grounding in our thighs, rooting down. There's a lot of ways to do this on the floor or on your knees in different, we're not going to do that in here, but just to reimagine the way of grounding. Inhale, stand up again. Reach up. Exhale, bring your arms down. Okay, let's find our seats. Feeling good? A little different? Okay, then as you find your seat, my preference and what I was taught, we've been both practicing yoga now a couple of decades and meditating for about 18 years. And the teacher we first studied with talked a lot about finding a posture that's comfortable, but not too relaxed, right? So in this room, we've got these nice stiff chairs. If your back and your body are compatible with sitting a little forward on your seat, you give yourself a little bit of lift. If you need the back, use the back. At home, you could even use a pillow behind you if that's more comfortable. But there is a benefit to creating a little length in your spine when we sit. Our feet are just gently on the floor. It's nice to have that connection onto the floor if you can reach the floor with your seat, with your bum on the seat. And what we'll do now is I'll invite you to do, again, this is for however you would like to participate. So typically or often in meditation, the invitation is to close your eyes. Sometimes if you haven't spent a lot of time meditating or doing inner work like that, it can be very alarming to have your eyes closed or in a room where we've spent a lot of time talking about a lot of different things that can have different emotional effects. So if you're comfortable softening your eyes is an option, just glancing downward is an option, or if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes the entire way. It's completely up to you. So whichever of those is comfortable to you, you can just sit calmly and be with us. You can soften your eyes, you can look downward, you can close your eyes. And in whatever way feels right for your body today, even as we just allow the awareness, even in this most subtle or this most straightforward way, we just allow the awareness to become focused on our own experience, on our body. And all of us with such gratitude, we are breathing right now. The breath moves on its own. And what I'm going to invite you to do is just watch that breath. So you're breathing, your body is breathing, and you're following that inhales coming in and the exhales coming out. You're just noticing. We're not trying to control it or lengthen it or change it. You're just inviting your awareness to realize, oh, I'm breathing. There's the inhale and there's the exhale. With that more subtle attention, maybe you can even feel the breath coming in and out of your nose or your mouth, whichever way you're breathing right now. And as we allow our awareness to call into the breath, to look towards the breath, You naturally become more attuned to the own rhythm of our body. The mind will wander off. There will be a thought or a noise, and that's normal. Just like you would be gentle with a new puppy, we just gently bring our awareness back to the breath. You realize you're over on another topic in your brain or the to-do list. We just come back. And that natural inhale and exhale brings us comfort and grounding. When again, the mind will wander. We've done nothing wrong. You didn't do it wrong. You didn't make any mistakes. We just bring our awareness back to the breath. Watching the breath come in, out of the body. I'll be quiet for about a minute, not too much longer. And again, when you feel yourself being pulled into something else, it's okay. And gently, like you would treat just the sweetest new puppy, bring your awareness back. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. We'll be here just a moment in a pretty quiet space, as quiet as we can. The mind will move. The mind will be drawn to the next thought, some other action, and we just go back to the breath. We'll make a gentle transition to our next inward focused exercise. I invite you to take a deeper breath, a bigger inhale, very deliberate. And a full exhale, letting all the air out of your body. Let's do that 2 more times with a deep, full breath, Very deliberate, drawing the breath open. Widening through the rib cage. And on the exhale, the whole breath leaves your body. Last one in your own rhythm, full breath in. Full exhale. Now I'll talk us through a brief visualization meditation that is something you can do through lead practices and even for yourself. So again, with your eyes soft or closed or downward, wherever you're comfortable, we'll stay seated. And in this more spacious opening that you've created, just through the way you focused your attention. In that space, I invite you to imagine a suitcase. And it can be any suitcase you like, maybe a suitcase you've had in the past that you loved, or a suitcase that is really colorful and something you might create for yourself. But we're just allowing a suitcase image. And inside this suitcase, walk over or get close to it, however you're feeling connected to it. Open up the suitcase. And our suitcases potentially are empty to start. I'm going to invite you to put in that suitcase any recurring thoughts, any thoughts you're waking you up at night, things that feel a little too much right now. And the good thing is we're going to pack the suitcase. It can be neatly folded, it can be shoved in, it just hasn't, it's however it works for you. We're not going to ditch the suitcase, so we don't have to worry about forgetting anything in the suitcase. We're just going to pack it, putting away obsessive, recurring things that we just need a moment, need a break from, need a little vacation from that thought. As you pack your suitcase in your own method, when you're ready, you can close up your suitcase, or maybe there's some stuff sticking out of the edges. Maybe it snaps perfect. Maybe it's a little over full. Maybe there's only one thing inside. Whatever it is for you, and we'll just set the suitcase off to the side. We can even imagine that all of that spin and busyness, it feels just too much for the moment. We can just set that off to the side. Not going to forget about it. We're just taking a break. And now go back to your deep breath that we started with in this little section. Taking that full inhale, open. How much can you inhale now? Exhale completely on your own rhythm. If you want to move slower or faster than I am, by all means. Let's take 3 more deep, full breaths in. Full exhale out. Full breath in. Full breath out. Last one, inhaling, feeling as spacious and as big as you can get in your ribs and your chest, opening up. Exhale, release. To come out of this more contemplative space, we're going to move slow. Slowly bend your fingers in and out. Move up through maybe rolling your wrists. Stretching your arms forward, gently opening your eyes. It feels good, maybe reaching up overhead. Exhale, release your arms. If your eyes are not already open, gently opening them. Sometimes grounding yourself by looking at the ground first, and then making your way ever so gently back into the room. Thank you all for giving it a try, whatever way. Lindsay asked me to share some apps or other ideas of ways we can incorporate kind of micro moments in our own lives. I use the Insight Timer app, which is a free app. They have a paid version, but they have an enormous amount of free content. You can do a timed meditation and do just breath, watching your breath like we did. They also have fantastic sleep meditations. If anyone gets into it, I would recommend the one I use when I'm agitated at the end of the night. There's this one sleep meditation that does it every time. I don't think I've made it all the way through her meditation in months, which is fantastic because I am off to sleep before she finished talking. Calm app also they have an app, some of you've seen them. I think they've done a good job at even incorporating in some of the airlines and hotels now. You can pick the Calm channel and watch some of their material or enjoy one of their, I don't know that one as well. I know Insight Timer better, but I know it's out there. And really, I think my kind of mantra, so to speak, has been 5 minutes is better than no minutes. You know, after Marlena was born, my entire yoga practice was one downward dog for months, years maybe. And just those little reminders that Lindsay articulated so well already of just a hot cup of coffee or those little things that can help us reconnect. All right.
All right, we're gonna move right into our breakout sessions.